we're back. So let's talk now about microshifters and what they're going to do and how they're going to report. So I will share my screen. And microshifters. So as I said, we started this last year in November, the last election, but we're continuing it this year and exploding it into pretty much full time with the exception of those few priority shifts. So what is microshifting? Well, this is where you're going to visit a precinct group, and we've predefined precincts. I forget how many we have, but each precinct has around five or each group, excuse me, has about five precincts in it. Some have maybe only four, some have six, but usually the ones with six have co-located precincts within them. So it's not a lot of travel. We're going to ask you to meet with the chief or the assistant chief in each of your precincts, each of the five. Look at the voter count worksheet, and let me just skip ahead here and I'll show you what the voter count worksheet looks like. This is where throughout the day, the chief is going to take a pulse and see how many voters have checked in on all of the e-poll books, how many voters are still sitting in the ballot marking areas and marking their ballots, and how many voters are in the how many ballots have been scanned. The sum of this minus this should equal the total ballots scanned on the scanners. If there's a difference, they'll note them here. And what we'd like you to do is, as they check every couple of hours, see how well they're doing in controlling voters and non-voters, or excuse me, voters and checked in folks, just to see how that's working. So let me go back here. So we're going to ask you to meet with the chief, ask to see the voter count worksheet and note the data on your report form. If the precinct is off count, then see if you can find out why. Maybe they had a fleeing voter in between, or some other event happened, or any of the shifts skipped. Sometimes we've noticed that when we're doing the canvassing, we see that chiefs just stop using the form. So why is that? Ask if there have been any incidents, anything notable that has gone on in the precinct so far that day. And just generally, how's the turnout been? Have there been lots of people coming to vote? Not so many? Any, particular impressions from the chief or assistant? And then we'll ask you to get data from the scanner. So write down the public and protected numbers. We know that that's going to change because you're coming in the middle of the day. We presume that more voters will be coming yet to vote, but at least we have a data point. Get the red seal numbers, the zip tie seal numbers, how many check-ins so far, and how many provisional ballots did they have so far. Again, we understand that all of this data is going to be just a point in time, but we'd like to see, just how is each precinct doing. Then as you're going outside to leave, check with the greeters, kind of get a pulse from them. What's going on? How do they feel? Has there been a number of voters coming in? What are their impressions? Again, you're going to have a group. So this is an example, Microshifters Special Election Poll Route Group. This is group number 1. So it's four precincts: Great Falls, Forestville, Hickory, and Seneca. We'll ask you to go to those. You can see they're all in the city of Great Falls. So they're all fairly close together in distance. We're not asking somebody to go from Mount Vernon to Reston to do a group. They're all bunched together, if I can use the technical term bunched. We just showed you the voter count worksheet. So that's it. Hopefully a lot of you will be interested in this alternative form of poll watching, but it'll give us more coverage than we've had in the past and allow us to have a presence at every single precinct in the county. Thanks.